This holiday season, you can make a difference and get something truly special. Introducing the Eternal Light of Hope trackable GeoCoin, yours for $100, with every single dollar going directly to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Prefer something playful? The Lego Butterfly trackable coin is just $50, and yes, 100% of that goes to St. Jude too. But we're not stopping there. Join us December 6th for the 10th annual Podcast of Hope, as we aim to raise over $15,000, pushing past a $100,000 total raised for the kids. Together, the geocaching community can bring light, hope, and healing to families in need. Get your coins now at geocachetalkshop.etsy.com. Let's make this the most hopeful year yet.
Our other goal for the year.
Hello. A big thanks to our new patron, Trail Snail 51. And our featured patrons tonight are the B's and the C's. They have it this week. So it's Hugh, Jeffrey, Owen, Gary 1, and Gary 2. There's two different Garys out there on the B's and the C's. Duppy, Ashley, Maria, David, the no-code geocachers, Andrew. Thanks to all our patrons for keeping this show and all of our shows on the air. And let me bring in my wild and crazy co-hosts.
What was that, Gary? I know you haven't had practice in brushing your hair back in a long time.
No, I'm trying.
Man, Hippie Gary has a different vibe. Just saying,
he does for sure.
Yeah, and I got to ask. So what was that new patron again? Trail Snail
51.
Oh man, I love that name.
Great
That
name.
is so cool. That is so cool.
Do you think there were 50 other ones first, or
I guess so. I don't know. It's sort of weird.
That's right. It's kind of like what do you do if you encounter a bear on the trail? You just run faster than the next guy.
Exactly.
Do you think there were 50 other trail snails that did not survive? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No spookies.
This is important. Greetings from aboard a cruise ship off the Chilean coast.
Wow.
What?
Way to go.
That is
That
awesome,
may
Patty.
be the coolest place I've heard anybody check in from.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, we got the humorous people in the room
Dying to get
started. Yes, very good. They expect a lively show tonight.
Well, who knows? Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that. We have a lot of people in there. We've got a lot of the usual crew out here. So
Usual suspects.
some of the usual suspects out there. So do you like the joke on mine? It's where is it?
I don't see it.
The zombie geocaches are in the brain forest.
No, I don't like that joke.
Instead of rainforest, they're in the brain.
There was an attempt, I guess, on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I messed up on that one.
Oh well. Yeah. Oh well. It was a good try.
Yeah. Valiant effort, my friend.
Hey, at least a B for effort, anyway.
B for effort.
That effort was clearly there.
All right, let's get into some news. Don, what news? What news do you bring today?
Oh man, Gary, the news is twig, my friend. This week in geocaching, where we talk about all the great things in geocaching. And man, I love Mel Allen back in the day when he did This Week in Baseball, by the way. Love that. Love that.
Geocaching.
Yeah. We should get AI Mel Allen, I guess, to do an intro.
Should.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's possible.
Yeah. But guys, this week in geocaching, I got a few things I want to highlight on this one.
Okay.
One, this is my season of like cache planning, and I can't remember if I talked about this in the past, because like here up north, like we'll probably enter the snowpocalypse in just like a few weeks to come,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm trying to get my snow tires on this week, trying to do like all that like winter ready stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure you too, man. I'm sure you are. Yeah. So it's like for me, like I'm going through and I'm actually like seeing new caches publish and
Yep.
like new caches publish. Like part of me, like up here, there was just a multi today by Heck Yes 3. They're a pretty good hider. And I'm like, that is awesome. But I'm
Uh-huh.
like, but I'm kind of like a squirrel putting nuts in its like hideout for the winter to survive.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like, good caches like this, man. Like I gotta like identify calendar day where I need another find and like
Mm-hmm.
start lining those up. So I'm doing a lot of like cache planning like that.
Right.
But shifting over to the hiding thing, and I think I told you guys this like over email or over like chat. It's crazy. Like the county where I grew up, Oneida County in upstate New York, beautiful Oneida County.
Yep.
Get this, no earth caches now. The last earth cache was archived.
Oh.
So I'm like, I'm taking it as a personal challenge, and I'm putting out this to anybody who's tuning into the show.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine a county in the United States without an earth cache? We need to add some earth caches to Oneida County in beautiful upstate New York. I know I'm going to look at getting like a couple out there, but it's one of those things with earth caches. Like if somebody's traveled through and they found some cool stuff, you can hide an earth cache there. You don't have to reside there.
That's true.
It is the vacation cache.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things. I mean, like we can put those out there, So
How long have you been there with this? Is it 2 or 3 months? Is that right? 2 months?
Yeah.
3 months right now, right?
3 months?
Or is it a month now?
What's that?
You have to visit. They want you to visit the site within the last.
Yeah, but
3 months, but maybe only 30 days now.
It's somewhere within that change, but I think somebody said like time is relative. So
Right.
Yeah,
I think
there you go.
I think you have to think about it in that sense.
Geologic time. Yeah.
Right. Which applies. But yeah. So it's one of those things. I just wanted to bring that one up on here. So yeah, Owen from KC. This is a great trivia. If you know this, how many counties have earth caches?
Oh.
Ooh. How many caches don't?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm assuming there has to be like some. Oh, and shout out to Nicole here, Bee Genius.
Yeah.
She got her second earth cache published.
Yeah, she's killing it, and she's not doing like cheesy little ones. She's doing good ones to start. Like the first four are good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, man, big shout out, Super Chuckles. Hey, y'all. Thank you for joining us, Super Chuckles. Appreciate it tonight. But yeah, so
a question for you, John, up in the top.
Oh, okay. Let's bring it up, Gary. Let's bring it up.
Let's see. They want to know if you're their biggest fan.
Oh, man.
What about the Chiefs, I guess?
Yeah, I am a really big fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, guys. Really big one. There's a story I told before the show that I probably won't get really into the exact specifics right now, but my dad was from Missouri, and my parents met in Missouri, so it was the team I always grew up rooting for. And I don't know if you guys can imagine this, but being a Chiefs fan in beautiful Western New York, I feel like I'm an evil cowboy in a movie where I'll wear my Chiefs gear and I'll walk into a supermarket.
Yep.
And it's like the whole place goes dead, and people like give me this look like,
what are you wearing?
Yeah, but I love them. Yeah, Debbie, go Chiefs. Yeah, exactly. I love them too.
Okay.
I love them too. But okay, to finish up my twig, I'll finish up, guys. I'll finish up, I swear.
I got a quick one too. So I'll let you.
Yeah. So two big things. One is kind of a teaser, and I kind of think it's one of the things we can all talk about, but caching goals.
Yep.
The rest of the year and for next year. So I'm working on mine. I'm doing some planning on that one.
Cool.
Talk more about it soon. But a big thing too is looking forward to some events coming up. Like my friend Fishing Gal, she's hosting an event coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I don't know, I just love like good local events, like local ones,
right?
Like when it gets dark this time of year, to me, I just love that. So anyway, so that's kind of my general twig. And I had pickle pizza today, which was awesome. Just saying, from a drive-through, and it was a
drive-through.
Yeah,
think about how often you had a
drive-through pickle pizza.
That sounds sketchy.
Man,
that
sounds. And it's sort of one of those things where, like, when have you ever had pizza handed to you through a drive-through window?
it takes talent because like you have to finesse that large box and kind of slide it through.
Yeah, you have to kind of turn it on its edge.
Right,
And then,
right. And then the challenge, right? As a driver, you get it. And then of course, like we all know, we all have our like pizza delivery bags that we then have to slide it in. So then like I have to slide it to the passenger seat with Jody, and like Jody kind of has to like finagle it in the pizza bag, you know?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Wait.
Yeah.
We're not just gonna gloss over that.
What?
We all have our own pizza delivery bags.
Yeah, don't you guys have your own pizza delivery bag to keep the pizza warm?
We're normal people.
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
Just you, John.
Do you really have one at your? You really have a pizza?
He really does have one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Keep it warm on the way home.
Yeah.
Where did you get this bag from?
Okay, Jesse. Let me tell you about this like magical place that some people may not know. It's called Amazon.com, where you can order.
Okay, let's go through this. So you were sitting at home one time and you had brought home a pizza and it wasn't warm enough, and you thought, you know what? I'm going to get on Amazon for the sheer purpose of ordering a pizza delivery bag, even though I don't deliver pizzas, just so when you go pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, like you're hosting a party, man, and you want your pizza to be warm that you're bringing to your friends, you know? I mean, like why wouldn't you get a pizza bag?
Yeah, you can buy them.
Yeah, see, Gary backs me up. I'm not making this up, Jesse.
There's even an overall Amazon pick in case somebody.
I even agree with this. Somebody got one as a gift. I get that as a gift. That's not something you buy for yourself.
Yeah, but he also says, for our audio listeners, it's a 35-minute drive home, so it makes sense. See? Okay, and get this too. Our good friend Don, Lost and Found 28, says, I actually have one. 31 bags, made one a while ago. Yeah, and Owen from KC sounds legit to me. And he's probably not just agreeing with me because I have a Chiefs hat on. Just saying.
They're just placating you, John. They don't really.
Oh, come on.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, there is one on Amazon. Look at that.
See, Gary.
But again, it says driver essentials. That's pizza delivery drivers, not like the average person.
Oh man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, guys, I think everybody should get one. Just saying.
We just keep peeling back the layers, don't we, John? We learn more and more about you every week.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least I didn't disclose that secret information I did before the show. I
tweeted it out. Wait, Twitter's not a thing anymore. I did something else.
Oh man. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna reveal my Halloween costume right now. I have a Halloween costume where I'm an evil caching villain. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, of course. Oh my god. No.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my Halloween costume.
No.
All right, you got me.
Oh my god. All right.
Wow.
Quick twig from me. I am not at home. What a shock. I have beautiful artwork behind me that the hotel has provided. I am down in Taylor, Texas. I'm helping to promote, set up, I don't know what else you want to call it, support the Texas Challenge for 2026. So meeting with some folks and trying to help them get ready for the next one. It'll be, in case you're wondering where Taylor is, it is just east of Hutto. I mean, I figured everybody knew that it was just east of Hutto, right? I mean, everybody knew that.
Yeah, it just makes sense. I mean,
the beautiful Hutto. They're the Hippos, by the way. What a great name for a school. What a school mascot, the Hutto Hippos.
Hutto Hippos.
Anyway, so that's where I'm at. And I did geocaching today and did 2 DNFs. So that's my wonderful caching for the day. So over to you, Jesse.
Well, I'm going to condense mine because I really haven't done a twig in about 3 weeks now. So let's see, couple of Jasmers I got knocked off the list, so I'm down to 4.
Nice.
4 left.
Go you.
You're close.
And, found a few earth caches.
Okay.
Got the souvenir, a little while back. did a lab farm, which was good.
Cool.
And Christy celebrated that one because, and she said, I had to report on this.
Okay.
She found out 2 brand new things about the area we were in from those labs that she had no idea. Like the oldest tea farm in the country or whatever, active tea farm in the country was right around in the area. So now we have to go back to that area.
Okay.
And then I don't know if I've talked about it the last couple weeks, but I found a letterbox, an actual letterbox, not a geocaching hybrid. After 3 DNFs, I did finally find one. So kind of goes with the show tonight, but almost did not go for that last one. I finally found one after the first 3 were missing.
Like
and
legit?
Not a lot of comments on them and everything else, but I finally found a real one, and it was decent. It was fine. You know, it was only letterbox. It was not a geocache.
Legit letterbox. Wow.
Legit letterbox. Yeah, with the actual hand carved stamp in it. It was pretty awesome.
That is cool.
Which I did learn that you're not supposed to actually take a picture of and show anywhere because it's like the secret thing.
Right.
So,
and then I went to an event and I got to hide a couple Earth caches and get them published. And with the big thing coming up, besides the cache that I'm working on, is caching goals for next year. So we're really closing out this year and seeing what we can do between now and next summer. But we're really trying to come up with a really new approach to what we're going to do next year. So a couple ideas we're honing down. I'll put them. And then the last thing is I got a new geocaching tool that I'm still working on.
Okay.
Working with it. And I'll report back how good it is for caching at some point, but I'm not going to yet. I'm still field testing it.
Oh man, this sounds intriguing.
Yeah,
very intriguing.
We'll talk about that soon coming up, but I'm still field testing it, and there's a learning curve. So we'll circle back around to that one. So that's pretty much all in the last few weeks. Just condensing kind of a few weeks into one, but good stuff, you know. So nothing bad other than the constant DNFs, but that's okay.
Right. Well, it happens, but
more than it should. More than it should. Yes.
Excellent, because you know what? Some of those caches that we DNF today, maybe there's zombie caches. I haven't gone back and looked, but let's talk about zombie caches. And if people are wondering, what is a zombie cache? John, do you want to describe what a zombie cache is?
Okay, I'm going to take the baton, guys, and then I'm going to pass it over to my good friend Jesse, since I know he's been zombie hunting for a long time and is a very passionate zombie hunter, and I think he's going to apply that to geocaching too. But anyway, zombie caches. So this was an interesting one. What is zombie caches? Because when we posted some polls on social media saying like, have you ever like vanquished a zombie cache? Pretty much like the 3 options were like, yeah, of course. One was like, no, and then another option was like, what is a zombie cache? And what is a zombie cache? There was like a lot of people who actually selected that. So they're not really familiar with this terminology. And it kind of got me to thinking to this one, who actually coined the term zombie cache? Was that here on Geocache Talk, or was that somewhere else? But it's a great.
We've been using that term for so long, but I'm not going to say that we're the first person to use that term.
Okay, but I mean, just thinking about a zombie cache, because we kind of talked about hunting archive caches, but I mean, there's caches that aren't archived yet, and yeah, TKD Scouter 5362, Tony says a cache that just doesn't die. So, which is great, right? I mean, that makes sense. A cache that doesn't die, so it's not dead yet, but should it be? And I don't know, Jesse. I mean, how would you further define a zombie cache?
Yeah, just using an easy definition, I think what I would say is it's a cache that's still in the field, but the owner's gone.
Right.
So it's a unsupported cache that's still listed and may still be in the field, but the owner has left the game and is no longer in contact at all.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
Which is very interesting, because I think we've all found them. I mean, there are some zombie caches out there. You don't know they're a zombie cache. You find it, it's fine, everything's good. You just log it, you move on, but you don't realize there's nobody behind it. There's nobody supporting that cache any longer. Yeah. Usually only comes up when there's an issue, right? But do we have any idea how many zombie caches are out in the world? Is there I guess we'll never know. But John, you did some research.
Oh man, yeah, I love number and I love data, right? So for me, just thinking like, what's the indicator that we have access to? And really back in the day, it would, you do a cache, you'd see that little wrench icon. And back in the day, the old terminology was needs maintenance. So you would have a needs maintenance flag on your cache.
Yep.
But now, when you look at the attribute, it's owner attention requested.
Right.
So, they changed it a while back saying, somebody indicated that there's a problem with that cache. So they said owner attention requested. The owner should, take a look at this. So when I did a search earlier, I actually found, and this number surprised me. It really surprised me. So we know there's about 3.4 million geocaches out in the world, right?
Right.
Out of all of those, the number that I found that came up when I searched for the attribute owner's attention requested,
yep,
288,593.
That is terrible. That is now split. So we can kind of split this up and save people some time. These aren't all zombie caches. These currently have need maintenance on, but we're going to dig into zombie in a second. But these are ones that currently have need maintenance on them. Well, what's now called owner attention requested, but it's a needs maintenance, right? So if you filter out from the 3.3 million caches that are out there, if you filter out events, right? Because events generally don't have a need maintenance on them.
Correct.
That's 10% of the caches that are out there.
Right.
Crazy.
Which is a terrible thought. Like, I'm not going to mention any other listing services like we were talking about earlier, letterboxes. Letterboxes are great, but they're done differently. So if you go on their website, they're not geocaches, right? And I'm not disparaging for not being geocached. What I'm saying is their website looks different. Like, people don't always report online. They just do it like in a journal, right? So you can't always tell. So, but from an outside, like a geocacher looking in there, if you go onto their website, it looks like nothing's being maintained at all. They do it a different way is the reason for that. But now take that same logic and a new cacher going into our game, and 10% of them have a little wrench on them. That's not a good look. That's before you even get out in the field, right, and see what shape they're really in. But if you're just looking through caches in your area and 1 out of every 10 has a wrench on it, that's not a good look at all. I mean, we don't think about it because we know there's a couple other reasons too and stuff, and we just kind of accept it. But imagine, if I would have paid attention to that coming into the game, I might have thought differently about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but how many are we talking about those? Let's see, what's the point? Less than 0.1, less than 1% times 1%. What is one? See.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, Gary, I just want to mention it kind of surprised me because then I looked at disabled caches out of all that number, and there's over 11,100 caches that are currently disabled. And that's a large number. It's tricky to really dig into those. Yeah. But crazy thing though is that includes 4 2001 caches, 12 2002 caches, and of course there's a whole lot more on that too.
Yeah.
But that's very few of those old caches, though. 4 out of 3 million caches is not that. That's not even a number we'd bring up, right? So that's a very small amount of ones that are actually old caches.
Yeah, so you're right. It definitely implies it's more of an issue with newer ones.
There's a good. He's making my point for the night anyway, but so that only includes that someone includes ones that someone has reported a problem with. There are plenty of zombie caches that are out there. But no problems reported. Absolutely, for sure. But I think it's a bigger issue than
it is.
We think about. We kind of joke about them a lot. We've joked about them a lot on the show, but I think it's a bigger issue for the overall look of the game than people give it credit for, right? Like you have to think HQ. Well, after their purge, I guess they are looking at it, but they haven't made it a big deal. Maybe that's what they should do is quietly clean it up, right? Instead of making a big hey, help us fix it. But I think that's a major issue for the health of the game.
Yeah,
the numbers are crazy. I had no idea it'd be that many when you pulled that up.
Yeah, that's a lot. One thing about those two we need to talk about is what should we do when we encounter one I liked what somebody put in the notes, our notes, which was to just log it and run away as fast as you can. I thought that was funny. No, that's not the way to go about it. There's a couple different things we can do. We'll talk about those here in a minute. But obviously, there's two things. Owner attention request is what we can put on it.
Yep.
Or we can do a reviewer attention requested. And we'll talk about that here in a moment as well. But do you guys, let me ask you this. When do you notice that a cache is a zombie cache? What triggers it for you guys?
I could tell you what triggers it for me, and then I think John has a different answer for it than I do. But I found a cache. That's what triggers it for me.
Oh, okay.
I check it almost every time. I check in with the owner almost every single time I find a cache because I want to know if it's a dead cache before I go after it. Yeah. Right? Like, because the description doesn't matter anymore on the page if the guy's not attached to it. That means it's being community led, and those are usually they just put down whatever they can, right? So to me, that gives a lot of information about the cache I'm going for. So I quite often click it almost every single time. Now I used to click. I got into the habit of doing that for puzzles, right? Okay. Because if you're going for a puzzle and you see their style of hiding, whether it's a physical or container that you're looking for, or like how they solve it. Right. The owner and what other kind of caches they do gives you a lot of information. So that's where that practice kind of came in for me. But I almost always click on the owner of a cache, like as part of just the normal research I do for a cache.
Normal process. Yeah.
So I'll add a little to it. So for me, a lot of times it's kind of like I'm taking a look at a cache. So kind of thinking sequentially, I'm looking, right? If I see multiple like DNFs, on a cache, it's just kind of like, okay, does that mean maybe somebody's like inexperienced, and maybe they've just started? Does it look like they have like a certain number of finds where maybe that implies that they have like some expertise finding? But when I see like a number of experienced cachers who've DNF'd a cache on that one,
correct,
no, owner attention requested on it, that makes me think like, okay, well, would the owner respond anyway? And then I agree. Then my next step is usually, like Jesse said, I take a look and see, is that cache owner even active?
Yeah.
Because, I think there's a certain number of people, right? It's like you'd reach out to the cache owner, like if you got a DNF and you're like, hey man, I've looked, can you give me a hint?
Yeah.
Can you confirm that it's still there? And on that one, I mean, if like you look in that cache owner, and for me, I usually interpret it, and I'd like to hear how other people feel, but I usually, like, if I see somebody who hasn't been active in a year, that's my indication it's a zombie cache.
Yes.
If I go over that year mark.
Now, where do you get that determination from, John? Like, what pieces do you put together to see that they're a zombie?
Yeah. So for me, okay, number one, like for my classification, I usually just say, okay, is the cache not being maintained? So if it's DNF, owner attention requested, and owner not being active in a year, I mean, to me, that's total zombie cache.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. How do you determine they haven't been active in a year? What are your steps for that? Because I think everybody may have a different opinion of that.
Yeah, and I think on here, so
kind of like Owen says, needs maintenance is actually on the cache page, or it has multiple DNFs, which is I think
for the cache part. I was talking about the owner part.
Oh, the owner part. Yeah, I think I agree with John. It's like if it's been over a year and the person hasn't logged in, you can go look at their page, and if they haven't logged in, you can see the last time they logged in.
Yeah, but I don't think that's definitive, right? Because if you're logging in on the app, it doesn't show you as logging in on the website.
Well, so let me pull up a page. Let me do a screen share, and then let's kind of see what we think on this one. So I'm going to pull up an active cache because I don't want to imply any sort of potential shame on somebody.
Right.
Because we know some people may be sensitive, but like on here, okay, it's virtual. The virtual's been found, which on here people may think like, okay, so of course the virtual's been found, but no, sometimes things change where they take away a logging element where there could be a problem with the virtual. But if we look at the top of the page here, we can see the cache owner, their name right here, Newfane 1. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to go through. I'm going to see when they joined. I'm going to see when they last visited on here.
Yeah.
On this one. Another indicator, and this is kind of like one of those things where some people with privacy settings you can't see.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at all their geocaching finds, if you can see them.
That's what I was going to ask about. Yeah, that's what I do as well.
Yeah, and you can see that they found recent ones as well too. I mean, you can see they're active because you're right. That's a great point. If you're just looking at that, like the mobile app, you may not be able to see all that.
Right. I wanted to make sure we got that point across because people were dying about that in the chat room. I want to make sure that we covered that. But yes, from what I understand, unless the website tracks when the last time you logged into the website,
right?
It does not count mobile, which a lot of people are just mobile primarily.
Well,
but finding the active hides and finds kind of confirms that information.
But if they have privacy turned on, you can't tell what they've been where or when they've been caching. So that's
That's true.
Yeah,
a lot of times that doesn't happen. So
no, you're right.
Well, and I will say another element, at least I've done, and I don't know if you guys have done it, right? You go to an event, there's like a cache, you've DNF'd, other people have DNF'd, kind of like at the event, like people tend to know each other in the community. Sometimes I've asked them like, hey, is this cache owner still active? Do you guys know? Or are they still like maintaining or like hiding their caches? And then I've heard in the past before, like, oh no, that cacher's out of the game, sometimes they're just out of the game. I mean, sometimes, maybe somebody who's passed on, there could be different reasons, of course. But that kind of helps to provide a little bit more context, on there too.
And so, Owen saying, I've seen someone say never logged in. Yeah, because they never gone on the website. But that's your first clue a lot of people look at. And then you look at the only real information is hides and finds. If they haven't hidden one or found one in a year, there's no other parts of the game other than that, really.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Obviously, there's tons of stuff that we all do, but if you haven't done anything in a year, you're probably not active. Doesn't mean you're gone forever, but
you're just currently
probably not active.
Correct. Yes, exactly right. So here's where the rub is going to come, though, and that is
kind of rub.
The rub is, what do we do about these caches? That's the key. So we've determined Jesse wants to wipe them out.
That's right.
He's getting the cut, going to cut the throat of the cache. So we've confirmed the cache owner has not been around for a year. Either they have no hides or finds in a year. Do you try to contact the owner at this point and see if they'll respond? So if it's a cache in your area, and let's say, it's plunked down the middle of a cemetery and you're allowed to hide in cemeteries, and they basically have wiped out the whole cemetery, because if they would have done it right, they could have had them in four corners, but instead they didn't. They plunked one right in the middle, and you're like, okay, we went and tried to.
Oddly specific here, Gary.
I know, very specific. I think, but
Gary was looking at your caching profile before the show.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think this was hypothetical at all. He's thinking about somebody now.
But figure out your own scenario. We've all been there. Be like, we look for the cache. Cache isn't there. You try to contact the cache owner and say, hey, is this cache? Is there? And they don't respond. And then you're like, they don't respond to anything. They haven't been in the game for a year, and you're like, this guy or gal is blocking this whole area. And you're like, it's kind of a bummer that they've got this area fully blocked. What do you do next?
So I think there's a couple ways you can look at it. One, I think there's two different paths. You go to find one and it's something's wrong with it, or you go to find one that there's nothing wrong with it, other than the fact that the owner might not be part of the game anymore.
Right.
Which one? I mean, obviously we'd all be faster to probably act if there's something wrong with it. Right? We put something in, but I think, John, you tell me how you would do it differently. But for me, kind of splitting that path, let's talk about the first one, the one there's an issue with it, right?
Yeah.
You're not just researching for no reason. There's an issue with it. But if there's an issue with one, and if I go to a cache, it's torn up or something's wrong in the area, then I start my research. Like, is this person even active? If it's just messed up and the person's active, I would just send them a message personally.
Yeah.
And like I'd put a needs maintenance on it so they get the flag, but I would email them and tell them exactly what it is and send pictures to it, right?
Sure.
That's my general process. However, if I get there, it's broken, there's some reason not to have it or whatever, and I get on the owner's profile and they haven't found a cache, hit a cache, or logged in a year.
Yep.
I'm not even. I'm just going to put in review or what is it called now?
Owner attention request.
No. The
Reviewer
one above.
attention
Reviewer attention request.
Yeah.
Cache.
I'm going to put in a needs archive, and I have a log that I say I went to this cache. It's in need of maintenance, and it looks like the owner has left the game. I'm writing the note straight to the reviewer when I write that. I hope this person is still in the game, but if not, this is straight to the reviewer. And I write a nice little letter, but I'd put that in there so everybody that reads that knows exactly what I'm doing. Doesn't look like this person's been in the game for a while. This is not an owner's attention. This is a reviewer's attention because they're not being there, right? So that's the problem is we just put an owner's, it needs maintenance and old school needs maintenance in there.
Right.
That doesn't go to the reviewer necessarily. There's need maintenance on there out of those 288,000 caches that have been on there for years.
Right.
Because if they don't clear them, they stay on there, right? So that's not triggering anything else. I go to the next step. That's what I do.
Yeah. And I hear Jesse. I mean, look, like for me, like usually, because and I think Jim brought up a great point. Clear the game board, because the one thing, and I guess I'll start with this, right, is it's like when I started caching, and I think I've told this story like a few times, like I started caching in my area and there was a wave of cachers that got out of the game due to various reasons.
Right.
A couple of things with that is one, as we described, the caches that were out there weren't being maintained. They were poor quality. They were the ones you were opening up and it was like moldy, soaked log, everything else. And you're just like, man, if a couple of people find these, like they're probably not getting into the game if these are their first couple caches,
Right.
But and from there, talking with the community and figuring out and saying like, okay, these cache owners are clearly out of the game on here. That changed my approach a little bit. If I knew they were still in the game, or maybe kind of sort of, maybe I would put in the time like needs maintenance or now owner attention requested.
Sure.
But if I confirmed that they were no longer in the game, no longer active, and it was just basically like excuse my language, but a piece of geotrash that was out there.
Yeah.
To me, that was a point where it was needs archive, or needs reviewer attention on that one.
Yeah. So now, as y'all know, your options are hurry. Yeah. Found it, didn't find it, write note, owner attention requested, or reviewer attention requested. I like how very formal and very polite.
Being all super nice and everything. Yeah, we know it's a needs archived. John, I think you hit on the biggest theme too. It's trash. Those are now trash. It's a game if there's an agreement between an owner, the landowner, and a finder. But if you take that person that put it out there out, you no longer have that agreement with the landowner anymore because there's nobody to have that agreement. And it's just a finder finding pill bottles under bushes. It's trash. It's not a game anymore at that point. And I know why people push against that, but the truth is the truth. It's trash out there.
Yeah. And you bring up a great point with the landowner because, for somebody that works on trails, some trails, there are handshake agreements with property owners where, sometimes, like it or not, the property owner says, I'm no longer permitting use, of my land for these trails.
A little different.
At that point, a cache owner, if they're in the game, should archive all their caches there. I've done it. It sucks, but it's part of the game is archiving your caches when they're no longer, should be found. And it's one of those things, like if somebody hasn't been in the game for a long time and they still have caches out on land that no longer has approval for that land to be used, that can create a long-term challenge to using that land for recreational purposes. Let
me ask you a question, guys. Let me go a different route on this. So this cache, we'll come up with this other scenario. So there's a cache.
This will be another non-hypothetical scenario.
Non-hypothetical. Yes. No, it's a hypothetical, which is the cache that it's being well maintained by the community, because this cache is like iconic. It's like it's at this location where, you know, something famous happened and everything's great. And people, even though it goes missing once in a while, people come along and they fix it and they replace the logbook and everything else. It's like, it's iconic. Shouldn't we leave that one out there for people to find?
So,
I mean,
first of all, that's crap. It's not iconic. The cache is gone. It's been replaced 50 times by the community. It's not. The only reason to keep that out there is because ego or to pad stats, right? Like, I've been to caches before, and I won't mention which one, but people could think back. I went to a cache that I drove hours for.
yeah.
Get there. It's not the original container. It's none of the stuff that's there. It's an old cache, like maybe from 25 years ago. And it's just being maintained by the community. So I'm not finding anything that's connected to the original.
Yeah. Well, and I got to add on.
Is the owner maintaining a cache? The reason why it's special is because they maintained it for 20 years. That's awesome. But it's not if it's just trash marking a spot so I can go, oh, I got this square marked out. It's really not. There's no integrity of that cache there.
Well, and I got to add on this one too, because I mean, this one just really hits it like on the nail. It really like it just like drives us home like perfectly, because on this one, and I won't say where, right, but there was a heavily favorited rest stop cache.
Okay.
When I was driving down to Cache Fest Memphis, right, and one of those like you're plotting your trip beforehand, you see your favorite points on this, and you're like, man, I gotta stop here. I gotta find this one, right? I went there. It was not the original cache, you know. It was a cache being maintained by the community on that one, and it was not a good cache whatsoever. So you know, off the path, you're going there, you're kind of bushwhacking just a little tiny bit. And you get there and you find this thing and you're just like, I was researching caches to drive for hundreds of miles, you know?
Yeah. Imagine being a new person. You get there with that cache and you're like, this is what a 57 favorite point cache looks like. This game sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was definitely up there, you know? It's just like I knew what it was, but yeah, you're right. I mean, if it was like a new person, you know, getting onto that one and being like, this is a high quality cache. What?
I called it in the chat room, I put Cache of Theseus, which is it's the hypothetical situation where if you have a ship and you slowly replace all the pieces of the ship until there's nothing left but other pieces, is this still the same ship? It's like the same thing with the cache. It's like, wait a minute, the cache used to be decent size. Yeah. It used to have a lot of favorite points because the container was really cool and it had a really cool little lock thing where you push a button and it would, you know, the little bunny would pop up and you push the bunny's ears and it would open up the cache. You're like, that's gone. The only thing left is a pill bottle. And you're like, why does this thing have favorite points? Oh, I have no idea. And somebody tells you, oh, back in the day, this was a great cache.
Yeah.
But now there's nothing left of the original. The logbook was really a nice, cool logbook. Logbook's gone. The cache is gone. There's nothing left. It's like the Theseus. It's no longer the same cache anymore. Yeah. There's nothing left of it.
Well, it comes back to Gary.
Sorry, go ahead.
One thing you said about a favorite location or awesome location.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, right, as all cache owners, right, we've all archived caches. Like that is part of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks, especially when you do your first couple and you put a lot of time into them. But I mean, as a responsible cache owner, it is your responsibility to archive caches.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, when they are no longer viable for some reason. But, you know, in that instance, like if that is an awesome location that would get favorite points, open that up for a new hider, you know? Because essentially, I mean, zombie caches are blocking good hides from happening.
Okay.
You know?
I want to flip this. Wait, I got to flip this. I got to take this and flip the exact same question you just had.
Yeah.
While Gary's playing with his hair up there.
Our audio listeners interested in what's called twirling his hair.
So it's the responsibility of the cache owner to archive a bad cache.
Yes.
right? What's
Not all the time, but it is their responsibility.
That's what I'm saying. It's their responsibility to archive. That's what they should do.
Yes.
So let's take that and flip it over. Zombie caches are bad because they're not even active anymore, right? The person's not active. It's leaving trash out there for the community to do. And it could create a safety situation, right? Like there's nobody in contact with anymore. You may now be trespassing or whatever else.
Very true.
If we can all agree on all those things,
Yep.
then is it the cache finder's responsibility to report zombie caches?
Ooh,
I would
that's
say
a great
yes.
question.
Oh,
Yes.
John just jumped straight to yes.
Yes.
Gary, thoughts?
Ooh, no, I agree. Well, trust
As
me.
a good cacher, I don't mean like a rule. I mean like as a good cacher, it's your responsibility to report them.
Yes, because well, think about it. Who else is going to do it? Nobody else. There's somebody else out there.
Yeah, I guess so.
The cache owner is not going to check on it because the cache owner is gone. So,
and I will make the statement: cache hiders can really help, or cache finders, excuse me, cache finders can really help maintain and control cache quality. You know, and I think people need to have that perception because it's almost like you're going out there in the field. Yeah. And you're giving a report like, what is the quality of that cache? Is it in good shape? Is it in bad shape? Yeah. You know, because we all know as like cache owners, right? Sometimes cache owners proactively check their caches. You know, sometimes people do it like a couple times a year. Yep. Sometimes they don't do them if there's an issue, you know?
Right.
So, you know, for those cache owners, I mean, like if they're just waiting for a problem or waiting for a problem log to saying like, hey, I should go check that.
Yeah.
You know, I think in all honesty, I mean, cache finders have to log what the condition is. Cache finders have to be comfortable logging a DNF, you know?
Yeah.
DNF, but hold on. DNF, I agree with. Do they have to be comfortable with putting in a needs? Okay, no. Owner attention requested or archive reviewer attention requested. Yeah. And which one do you recommend they put in?
Yeah, I think they need to be comfortable doing a needs owner attention. I saw one, and I won't call out what cache earlier, and I think I even did it starting out, so I'll admit that, where there was a problem with the cache and somebody wrote a note, you know, on a cache page.
Right, that doesn't do anything.
Wrote note doesn't do anything, especially if they're gone.
But nobody's reading it. Zombie cache, really, an owner attention requested doesn't do anything either. No, you already know they're not logging in.
As long as people know for a while, because the only thing, and I'll interject here, I'll put like a slight wrinkle in. I'll put a slight wrinkle in, right? So for me, when I was injured one of the few times recently, and I wasn't finding or hiding caches for a little bit of time or maintaining them.
A year?
Not a year on that one.
Okay.
But, you know, if somebody took initially a look at my profile and they're just like, hey, this guy hasn't done anything in like a month or two, you know, would people think I was out of the game? You know, would people do something?
Well, I think that's why we're clarifying that we all immediately agreed on a year. If you can go down, I've been down with injuries and everything else.
Yeah, a year is.
If you're out for a full year and you're supposed to be a cache owner, you're not active. Right. Anybody, and I say 1, 2, 3 months, it's easily that anybody that listens to the show or anything else, if you've been in the game long enough, there's probably been a period of time where you've been out of the game for a couple months just because life, right? Like, you know,
absolutely.
But a year is a long time to only as a cache owner. You could be a cache finder, you know, we'll do one of every 5 years. That doesn't matter to anybody. You do it at your own pace. But if you're a cache owner, you have to stay active. And a year is a long time.
Well, yeah, it is a long time for that. So before we digress too far in the direction I'm about to say.
No. We're not letting John off the hook. He didn't answer the question I asked.
Okay.
Come on, John.
Put out there, Jesse. Put out there.
Owner attention requested, or with the zombie cache, should it be a reviewer attention requested? Right out of the barrel.
Yeah. No, if you clearly know a cache owner's out of the game, really reviewer attention requested in my mind makes sense. You know,
because the other one doesn't do anything if they're gone, right? So
if it's the reviewer could do something.
The reviewer one absolutely does. It signals, but the owner attention requested. John pulled up 288,000 of those. Those didn't all happen within the last week.
Right.
Yeah. Those have been there for a long time, right? So that one doesn't have a foolproof process. So I think you have to jump to the next level.
You know, and one thing we should mention, Jesse, because on here too, and I know not everybody knows this, right? So if you have that wrench, that owner attention, we should mention how you get that cleared, because I don't know if everyone actually
Yes.
knows how you get that cleared. And I think that's something important people need to take away.
That's true.
So the way that you clear that is, if you do maintenance on your cache, which you should if you're a cache owner and not a zombie cacher, I guess, is you go in, you do a new needs maintenance log on your cache page, and
not needs maintenance. You mean
Owner maintenance.
Owner maintenance. Yeah. And here, let me pull up one of mine.
We know what you meant.
Yeah.
While you're pulling that up, real quick question, because I don't want to go too far down this road, but I want to go down this road briefly. And that's something Jim mentioned, which is not just report, but to remove. So should we be removing geocaches?
No.
Okay.
Not until they get archived. Once they get archived, now when I report one in, I lock it in, like I put it on a watch list.
But watch list.
If it gets archived and the container was out there, I'll go grab the container and trash it or whatever.
Right.
But I'm not going to leave it out there knowing it's archived, because that's just like we talked about archive caching, right? I think that is 100%. I don't know any other way to look at it than archived cache that's still out there is trash.
Right.
It's 100% trash, right? So that needs to be removed for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I pulled up our audio listeners one of my caches, Operation Sci-Fi Attack of the Pineapple Pizza People, GCB6 2D8. And on here, it's a good example. It's if you go down, you can see somebody and in here, you know, they found it, so they registered a smiley and said could not sign because log was wet, super cute container on here.
Cool.
So one step they could have taken is actually putting on here an owner attention requested.
That's true.
I go through and I take a look at mine. So what I actually did is I did an owner maintenance log saying the container has been replaced. If anyone ever needs a hint, always feel free to reach out. We are always happy when our caches are found. So if somebody posted like a needs owner attention, that would have cleared it. So, you know, just to walk through that, like, you know, if you're a cache owner, you go in, you log the cache, you go in, owner maintenance, doing all of that. And then you can see actually right here, after completing maintenance, use this log to describe what changed and to remove the owner attention requested attribute.
Correct.
Yep. Otherwise, it'll stay there forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at some of those 288,000 caches out there that have that attribute on, there's some that have been found like numerous times, like after this. And it's one of those things, like, people just need to do this to remove that attribute.
I think people just don't know.
Yeah.
I think people don't know. But the problem is, like, there's 288,000 of those out there. Now, many of those are from active cache owners that have not fixed it. So there's really no way of knowing how many of those are out of the game, because you can't do that without some research, right?
Right. Exactly.
Unless HQ sets something up that automatically does that, you can't do it without research.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, if HQ has something like that behind the scenes, that would be interesting to know.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, just like I'm thinking of many other sites, but it should be able, they should be able to have something automatic so it doesn't bog down reviewers that says, like, after 12 months, their account automatically goes gray or something, you know, or it marks them as inactive. And an email is generated to them that says, hey, we noticed you haven't been in the game in a while. We want you to come back. If you don't come back or respond like they do normally with, you know, on the emails for needs maintenance, your caches are going to be archived and taken off the game board. I think that's what they should do. Is, I mean, we're CETO people, right? We're not supposed to be littering. So as an organization, if we know 10% of our caches out there need maintenance, or maybe not that many, right? If we really filter through it, but what if it's half of those? 5% of the caches we have out there, 1 out of every 20 are trash. There's nobody even maintaining them anymore. That seems like something they should push as a major rollout of, like, you know, hey, start checking these caches, whatever, and be ready, because after 90 days, these are zombie caches officially, and go get them for some reason. How do they get people to go clean them up or whatever?
You know, and I wonder if they're testing this process with the Earth cache purge that they've been doing.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe so. I hope they do. You know, they're going to get pushback, though, because people are going to say, we're losing caches. Well, hide new ones. Yeah. Or that cache is special. If it was special, somebody would have maintained it more. You know what I mean? Like, and I understand there's people that pass away. There's other things like that. But just like many other caches, there's an awesome cacher in my area, and let's say he passes away, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's not a cache that's there anymore. Archive that cache, put out a memorial cache to him or whatever.
True.
Do something in remembrance of him. But it's not. There's no legacy there because the cache and the cache owner are not a part of it anymore. It's not being maintained. It's not an active game piece. It's over. So we're trying to hold on to nostalgia, like somebody mentioned, like the 8 cache. Come on, you didn't find the 8 cache. If you go and find this new one that's been unearthed or what, okay, that's the same one, sure. That thing's been dead for years, right? Now, it gets you an icon, so we do it, but that's not the same experience, So, that's not the same site. That's not the same owner. That's something totally different. So we're holding on to what's not real. But I think it should be a concerted effort by HQ and maybe incentivize it somehow, but automatic process, send people out there regularly to go to clean up the game board.
Well, on this one too, and I can't remember, I think it was on the HQ podcast, an episode that Jeremy Irish, Brian Roth, and they were both on it. I think, of course, Rock Chalk too. And I think one of the things that Jeremy was saying with possible use of NFC tags, and we've talked about NFC tags, on here on Gadget Talk, check out those episodes if you're not sure about NFC tags. But he was saying, should caches have NFC tags? So that people could go out there, they could scan them, and people could refine caches and then confirm quality on them as well too. And I kind of like that because I know for me sometimes, and I haven't done it lately, but what I used to do is if a cache had a whole bunch of DNFs, especially on one of our trails, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew where it was, I found it before, I'd go out there. And then if I could confirm the cache was no longer there, I would then do a log on the cache and just basically saying hey, I found this cache years ago. This is not here. This cache has had a recent bunch of DNFs.
I do that. I used to do that as well on my trails that were on my route for caching and stuff. Yeah. I would stop by and find caches that I knew had been there, in previous years or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just part of being a good cache community owner.
Absolutely.
Right? Like being a good part of the community, I think.
Cool. Let me ask you a couple other things too. We got some great notes in here. You guys did a great job this week of putting.
So here's somebody asked about the 8 cache. Yeah, so allegedly the original container was found. Okay, the cache had been dead for a long time and not maintained. So it's not that I'm making fun of the 8 cache, which I have other reason to make fun of, but it's that's not, even though the container was found many years ago. If it was, and that's still that's great. It's a great fantasy story. I love the story. But they found this original container. Nobody messed with it, whatever.
I think it's real.
The cache has been dead for years. It's not a 20-year-old cache. If I had a cache now and then take it out of play for 15 years, put it back in, it's not 16 years old. So there's
true.
I understand why they did it, to prop it up, to let people have a chance to get the 8 cache icon, without going to Brazil or whatever. But there's some continuity issues there that, if you read comic books, you understand what I'm talking about. There's some. They went to a different world to keep that thing active. So that's just, they went outside the normal world, which I've also said many times, Geocache and HQ can do whatever they want. It's their game board. If they want to call that an ongoing 8 cache for years,
they can do what they want.
They got it. Beep, 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 beep. They got it. It's done. So that's what I was talking about with the 8 cache, separate than the zombie caches that somebody talked about.
Are there any caches that are exempt from being archived?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Now, having said that, I'll say what I've said before. I think historic caches that are determined to be historical, like in record for some reason, like Mingo or things like that, the year 2000 caches, stuff like that. I think HQ, and I believe they have the idea, should reach out for those that are deemed truly historical caches. Like, we can't if you let any less August 2000 caches exist, your Quad Jasmer is not a quest anymore for people.
Correct.
Right? So I think on those, instead of just community maintenance, the way those should be preserved is HQ should reach out to that owner or assume ownership once that person stops, because they can. Other people can't assume ownership of stuff, but they can preserve things, right? Like there's a plaque at the, the oldest cache plaque, that kind of stuff. Take those and make those, because they can control that. They're locking those in like an Excel spreadsheet. Any of these other ones can be archived. These are locked in. So if they don't determine it to be historic, just because you love Jim down the road and he had the coolest caches, that doesn't make it actually valuable in the cache community. Mingo, the oldest cache here, the oldest cache in the state, that does. And I think they should lock in those. Outside of that, nah.
So how do we determine? So for example, let's say all of a sudden somebody realizes that January of 2001, oh my God, we've just not paid any attention to it, and now we're down to 5. Do we try to historically keep those 5, or do we let it go?
They're not historic anymore. Again, if HQ, if this is outside of the HQ comment, right? You're talking about just something else random.
I'm just saying if they
slowly some of them, they should. But the whole point of Jasmer caches being good is that they've survived 25 years. If they haven't survived, it's no longer an accomplishment.
So what happens though?
Let's face it. I mean, Jasper, right? I mean, like, there's a reason why you can only do 4 loops right now, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's because caches have been archived. And
but what happens though, John? If we down to, let's say somebody looks done. I mean, we just sort of didn't think about it. We go, wait a minute. I think there's only 5 January 2001s left in the world. Do they all of a sudden become historical? Or
well, hold on. First of all, you're talking about 3 million nerds not noticing.
Okay, yeah.
There is zero chance that we're not going to notice.
Probably not.
Oh my gosh, there's only 4 of those left in the world.
So when does it become historical?
Every day, man.
Hang on though. When does it become historical? Let's say everybody's watching it. We're like, okay, we're down to 12. Oh, well, okay, we're down to 11 now. Do we call it historical at 11, or do we wait? Do we call it historical at 10? You see where I'm going with this?
So you're HQ's decision.
Yeah, because you're saying where's the value added that puts it over a line and says this is historical. And I got to pull back to Jesse's comment, because I do like where HQ selects, because the problem is when you have caches, and I won't say the cache, you guys can call it out if you want, but there was one cache, and I'm not saying webcams don't say webcam.
Correct. Go ahead.
But there was an old cache where there was an issue with the property, right? And there was multiple people trying to act in the best interest of the game, taking different actions on that cache. And on there, the outcome was, okay, here is how it's being maintained, is from my understanding of how it was. But HQ had to sort that out. But hypothetically, I'm not saying any caches here were impacted by that, but if they were, that would suck. And that would be incredibly frustrating.
I'll speak to that one. So, and many like that, right? Like, I like finding old caches. I only like them because it's cool that they've survived that long. Like, Mingo's not the original container, but it's still at the original location. It's still in the same, it's same style, and somebody's still, associated with the account. It's cool because it survived that long. It's not cool because it's been listed online that long. It's, for me at least, and I can't speak for everybody, but the value in it comes in the fact that it's actually a real, somebody has thought to make, just like I always give an automatic favorite point to a cache that's in your yard. The private residence, because you've done something for the game. You've sacrificed your privacy for the game, whatever else. That somebody for 25 years kept as a cache owner, I know what it takes to keep a cache alive. You have to maintain it. You have to do that stuff. So the reason why for me it's has any value at all is because somebody thought it was valuable enough for 25 years that they kept something going. They put that effort into the community for 25 years, not just because it was listed online and that spot 25 years ago, somebody decided it was cool. I don't think it has any value anymore if it doesn't have that history and legacy with it.
Right. It's an interesting thought, though, that if we do get to a point, well, and Owen brought up about webcams. I know, Jesse, you've spoken about that, but is there a point where I guess that's different too. It's a cache type. We've lost cache types before. We've never lost all of the May 2000s, for example, and we never will. But our cache types, should we maintain zombie cache types like the webcams?
Hold on, I'm laughing too hard at Lostkin's comment.
between locking in an historical cache for Jasmer and locking the last U.S. ape cache. They're both make-believe. I can't find caches for dates before I start a cache.
I had a friend that said, with make-believe things, I can love make-believe things. He said, how many people in the world love the Millennium Falcon? Does the Millennium Falcon exist in the world? Or is it just because it's make-believe and it's tied in with a story and all these other things that provide all this incredibly nostalgia?
But you don't know. Yeah, but my little buddy growing up had a toy Millennium Falcon. I didn't believe it was real.
You didn't?
Yeah.
So I guess the idea, or one of my final thoughts on this, though, is that at some point, again, it's like, as you said, Jesse, HQ is going to determine what's historical. So
yes.
So let me ask you all this. So what about because we're starting to get toward the end, but I got a couple more questions for you.
Go for it. Fire.
Okay.
So there are, and I think we've all found these kind of caches, and you find a virtual, you go to send the answer or the answers to the person, and you happen to notice this person hasn't been in the game since like 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So do you just go ahead and send the answers anyway and just move on with your life, or do you then put in a reviewer attention requested?
So for virtual?
It's a virtual.
So okay, let me put something out here though.
Nothing's on the game board.
Interesting. I'll give my take on this one.
It's all virtual.
Because for virtuals and earth caches, it's interesting. I don't know how many you guys have logged, but like where you've submitted something, and from my understanding on the current rules, and let me know if I'm wrong on here, after you send the answers in, you log it. You don't have to get confirmation from the cache owner.
Correct.
As to those, but the process is you send in those answers.
Sure.
Yeah. So you don't need to get confirmation, but your intent is you send those answers in.
Yeah. Sure.
But there is a large amount, at least from what I've witnessed, virtuals and earth cache owners that do not reply back to confirm in the game, whether they're active or not. I don't know, on those. I just followed the logging protocol on that.
But
here's what I would tell you too. That's where the purge came from.
Yeah.
They're not answering.
The earth cache.
They don't answer.
Right.
And, they're not active in the game. That's where that purges came from. And HQ just decided to do that and cleared a bunch. Now, I will say I think virtuals have gotten a pass because they're so limited. So for a different reason. I think they've got a pass.
Wait. Virtual cache, the type, because earth caches did not get a pass.
No. No, that's what I'm saying. I think virtuals are such a limited range or such a limited type.
Right.
They've been bringing new out, but you can't just hide one anytime you want, like an earth cache, right?
Right.
So I think that's why.
Yeah.
Even us,
between the two.
I think everybody gives virtuals a pass. It's just like archiving a webcam. Unless there's something really wrong with it, most people wouldn't put in one because it's such a limited resource and it's not a physical container. Yeah. And it's generally in the public. Because it was, it was approved in the past. It wasn't like a lab cache where you can just put it, North Korea if you wanted to. I think that's why we all collectively give virtuals a pass, unlike earth caches. Now, earth caches, you need to have somebody attached to those, like they're purging them, because permissions for earth caches are, when you actually have to get permission for a cache, unlike the Walmart street where everybody goes, I got permission from Bob. He works third shift. Those change, and they change frequently, right? Because, as John can spend a whole show talking about it, just because the park wants earth cache here now, when traffic is diverted or people walk a different way, they may not want anybody walking that trail anymore. They need to have the ability to go, don't bring anybody else to this point. So I don't think earth caches get a pass. I think virtuals do, mainly because I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying we all give them a pass because they're such a limited commodity right now.
Right. Makes sense.
Now, once they've flooded the market with them again, I don't think people will give them a pass as much. But for right now, I think they get a free pass, whether right or not. They generally tend to.
Sure. No, it makes sense. All right, we got John. You've obviously, we mentioned before, we highlight a lot of comments, and we get to them toward the end. We're kind of toward the end. Do you want to
We got a bunch of comments in there.
Yeah, you want to go through the comments real quick, pick out the ones we'll
me to hit 'em?
make some.
Yeah. Do you want to take them, Jesse?
Yeah, I'll take them, and then we can just talk about them real quick. Some of
Sure.
them are funny and they're really quick. All
Sure.
right, so it says, but doesn't a CO need to mark maintenance on the website that would show activity? Yes, it would.
True.
Yeah, if they're maintaining their caches, they're absolutely active. So that's the opposite of zombie cache. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Asking for a friend. What about a cache owner? What about a cache owner doesn't do maintenance but still finds caches? Then he's active. They still should maintain their caches.
Correct.
But that's kind of a different issue. That is an active owner. They're just a crappy owner, right?
Right, it's a crappy owner.
Yeah. How do you handle situation when you catch the ire of the zombie master when they come back to life after submitting an RA log? I'll answer that. So what I do when I put one in for archive, I'll often, as an optional step, email the cache owner personally and say, I just submitted this for archive. It looked like you left the game. I hope you haven't, or I hope you come back. Yeah, I send that every time because I do. I want them to come back into the game. I don't want them to be gone and be dead.
Correct.
We're like, oh crap, I went through something. I forgot about this game. I need to start doing it again. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll help you maintain that thing till you get back and ready.
Yeah.
So now, however, if somebody had to be a family-friendly word, a turd, somebody decided they wanted to be a turd. Okay, there's turds out there all the time. I don't care. Yeah. You know, if you want to see me, I was gone on a trip for a year on a boat and I wasn't able to get in. Okay, cool, dude. Whatever.
Stranded on a desert island.
Yeah, I don't care about that, but I know how that would make somebody uncomfortable. But I think you could do like this guy in Texas that I know that was too scared to. No, I'm not gonna tell that story again. Okay, let's move on.
Go ahead, move on.
All right. I would definitely prefer a cache be archived so something new could be put out if possible.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want another Smiley? What do you think about that, John?
I love this comment by Nicole because I mean certain times like cachers who have zombie caches have prime locations, have awesome locations.
That's true.
And one of the things I think for cache owners to be cognizant of, or I even as myself, like doing trail caches, I don't want to hide a cache every single spot on a trail where one could be, because I want to leave an opportunity for newer cachers to get into the game on here.
Absolutely.
So, you know, part of like, you know, refreshing that game board is just that constant churn of archiving caches and newer caches getting out there. So I agree with Nicole. Love it.
All right. I hate finding an old cache with many favorites because it's old and I find junk. That kind of lends to that same thing, right? Like you're not really finding the old cache. That old owner's not there. That old container's not there. Nothing original is there. Yeah. You're just finding the spot where a cool cache once was.
Well, and I'll flip this in place too, because even if the owner is currently active and has done that, archive that cache, man. Put a new cache then at that site. Because if it is not the same favorited cache on there, it's not the same experience.
Yep. It needs to be gone. Yep. I've had caches like that.
Sometimes it's not a zombie cache, but an old yeller cache. You just need to take it out back.
Get it back.
That's out of control.
That's how you do it.
But he's correct. All right. Funny story. I did a true zombie cache, severed hand on brains in Morgantown, West Virginia on the rail trail, and a dog walker saw it and called the police. Ended up in the local.
Oh my
God! Ended
up
getting the local paper over that one.
Oh my God.
Yikes!
That's a great story. I love it.
Oh my God, crazy.
At what point does a cache go from lonely to zombie? When does zombification occur? I think the big difference there is it's not the cache that's a zombie, it's the owner that's a zombie.
Yes.
The cache cannot be found for a long time, and that owner can still be active. It's just a hard cache, right? Puzzle, terrain, or something like that. It's not the cache being found, it's somebody being connected to it to maintain the cache.
Yeah, correct.
All right. If HQ is preserving the year 2000 cache, will they then start doing that with the 2001, 2002? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. Was like, when do they become historical?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2000s are historical. They maintain all those for the most part.
It's the first year, right? That to me seems history. 25 years.
But again, what if we do start to slowly whittle down? January of 2001, and we're down to like 12. I mean, and people are like, "Well, do we try to keep all 12, or do we keep 4? Because we got to have 4 for quad."
I understand that logic, But I'd also say a streak is not a streak if it's not continuing. It's not special anymore. So at some point, when we get to 50 years of the game, do we want to say that, we've got this cache that's been, maintained for 50 years when we all know it's a lie? Right. That's not cool. Yeah. It's not a cool stat anymore. Now, if we maintain one for 50 years, that's amazing. That's really crazy. Well, but at the same time, at some point it has to go, okay, this was the oldest cache, but it's not really there anymore. Now it's just an artifact, right. Whatever it is. Put some tributes out to it, whatever.
Yeah, and I want to put out there because, I think especially those first year, right? As we've mentioned, they're valuable and treasured because they're rare and they're unique. And even for those 2001 and 2002s, if there were fewer of those, because to me, I don't know about you guys, it's still interesting because a lot of times I'll find a 2001 or 2002 one. It may not have a ton of favorite points, right? Mm-hmm. Why does it not have a ton of favorite points where an older one 2000 does? It's because it's more rare, Yeah,
absolutely.
So, if there were fewer of those could make those more destination caches, for people. So, I don't know. People hate to see caches go, but it's kind of part of the game, man.
In case you were wondering, go ahead.
Here's the vigilante caching. I do like that comment. That's our last comment. I like that because I know what it feels like. It feels like you're, cache police or whatever. But I think we kind of have to be in some sense, and that we need to make sure that we're presenting the best game for new people to come in. The game doesn't last if new people don't come in, and new good people don't come in, right? They're not going to come in if 10% of our caches are trash. That's not a good way to stay. But I think I really do believe that it's kind of our responsibility when we go out to a cache to check and see, is somebody still active with this one? Is this a live cache or just a dead cache? I don't care if you get a smiley first before you do that or not, and I wish HQ would start some kind of program where they would, reward people hey, you get a badge or a souvenir hey, this is a zombie cache hunter. No, they wouldn't do that, of course. If they would do this is a Ceto hero or whatever, a Ceto, this guy's doing Ceto. He gets a badge on his profile for it. He cleaned up trash for us. HQ can't hire people when they archive them to go clean up those. So it has to be the community to do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to pen what you're saying too, because I think the community, with the local caching community is so critical. Because I think a lot of people, when they're traveling through town, if they see an issue with a cache, they won't necessarily dig in. How active has the owner been, on here? Maybe if it's an incredibly unique or special cache they need for a challenge or for a county, maybe they will be a little bit more invested. But for a lot of people, it's just, did I find it? Yeah, okay, I found it. It's good,
Yeah.
And then move on. So I think the impetus is really on that local caching community to help maintain what's out there. And,
I would like to be able to say that when somebody comes to your town to geocache.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't live in New York City, but you live in just a regular town somewhere.
Yep.
I would love to be able to say, if somebody's coming to visit me, hey, I'm coming in to visit, let's go caching. Or, just not that direct conversation, but I know they're coming in to cache. Guess what? I know our game board's clear here.
Yeah.
Everything here is maintained. It's active. I can take the pride in knowing that, go to that town. That's our town. We all keep our caches active there. It's a good game board. It's a good representative of it, whether you have awesome caches or not. But you go to the town and maybe 20% of yours are trash. They're going to, that's not what you want for your community.
Yeah, not at all.
We've been joking about January 2001. Do you guys want to know how many January 2001 caches are left in the world?
Nope. How many?
You want to take just a wild guess, a wag?
I'm going to say more than 23.
I'm going to say 87.
Well, you're close, Jesse. There's only 66 left in the world.
Oh, okay. There you go.
66. So at what point do we start protecting? Because here's the thing. We're talking, of course, U.S., but this game is an international game. At what point do we try to maintain 4 of them in Australia, or we try to maintain 4 of them right now? So in Australia, there are only.
So Gary, if we're maintaining it, is it really still a 2001 cache?
6. Is it still a 2000?
If we're maintaining, if community is maintaining this cache, that is no longer an active cache, so it has not lasted since 2001.
Well, same
thing. It doesn't
thing
have any value anymore.
Well, neither do 2000 caches that are being maintained.
I agree, and I think that HQ, and I think to answer this issue for that, only of the first year, I think they should go in and preserve the original caches because
Which they have.
Years in, they should go in HQ as the company and preserve any 2000 caches that are out there. They should preserve.
Okay.
If the owner's not out there anymore, they just keep it alive with themselves because they own those original 2000 caches.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea.
It's just a matter of inches after that. Do you keep 2001? Do you keep 2003? What do you do?
Yeah.
I think you keep that first year, and that's the ones that you keep alive.
Okay.
Knowing that they have a caveat at this point that they're not really alive. If the owner's left and HQ takes them over, they're kind of heritage caches. But you can still use Jasmine or whatever for it. You can still do some of those things or whatever, but they're not really the original cache. They're heritage caches at that point.
Yeah. And I value what you're saying, Gary, because I know when I started to kind of clean up my local area, I had this conversation with another cacher because there was it was a 2006 cache. And I was like, I've looked for this for so long. And he was like, I don't know, it's a 2006 cache. And I was like, it'd be a 2006 cache if it was there,
Right.
But it's not, so it's like, it's like for me. So the local community is supposed to ignore that and give frustrating hours for people because that 2006 cache was there at some point in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do that. I mean, I can't even think of how many hours I spent looking for that myself. I probably wouldn't be surprised if it was 6 or 7 hours,
So now we're running long.
Yes, we are.
What is our call to action from this? Okay. I'll tell you what mine is, but what do you recommend people do?
I got a few on here for closing on mine. So
go for it.
Go for it. You go first and see.
Yeah, I'll put out there zombie killer. Okay, so
zombie killer.
One local community. Get active, help to maintain your caches. Take pride in your community and think about how it impacts the caching game, especially for new people on that one. But we should feel no shame logging DNFs, logging owner attention requested. Shouldn't feel shame for logging, reviewer attention. Those are all part of the game, and that's why they are there. For cache owners on here, I do want to bring up adoption. I think it's been mentioned. I, was really appreciative. There was a cache owner in beautiful Western New York who was getting out of the game, and he posted in a group, and he just basically said, "Hey, I'm getting out of the game, on this one. Here's all my caches. If anybody wants to adopt any, adopt them. Let me know. I'll adopt them to you if you want to take care of them, but you need to take care of them. If not, here's the date I archive them,
I like that.
And I think that was very responsible for him to do. And I appreciate it. I did adopt an earth cache, of his, that was at a cool location, meant a lot to me on that one. So I think on that one, that's something that we should all think of as hiders because, if we can't maintain the caches we have, archive them. We've all archived ours, but think of adoption if you really too want to get out of the game on that one. But also for people, and I think Jesse mentioned it, think about that watch list because I'll mention these briefly. I watch listed the one that got archived where I found my first cache. Was I sad that cache went away? Well, kind of, sort of, but at the same point, I hit a cache there because that location was meaningful to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So putting that on my watch list, getting that archived, allows me to put a meaningful cache there for others to enjoy on that one. But I do want to, put a short experience out there that I had when I first tried caching. And I think I mentioned this on the show years ago. It was 2006 with my sister and brother-in-law. We went to a location, GPS wise, not even smartphone. We couldn't find the cache, Long story short, I did not get into caching after that for years because we did not find that cache.
Yep.
Wow.
And I think to myself to this day, if I found that, I probably would have started caching like the day after that, finding more caches. But at the same point, that cache right now is I believe it's disabled, so I put that on my watch list because I'm like, that's meaningful to me too.
Yeah.
So, think about like those, like, locations, and Nicole asked that one where, great point. It frees up more spots for other people to hide, especially if the locations are meaningful for them to create a better experience for people. So just some general thoughts, but I love this show. How can we create a better caching experience for our community?
Yeah. Love it.
I like it. I think in the chat room, Nicole summed it up for me. Maintenance means both replacing a full log and cleaning up the board game.
Yep.
Yes.
We had to clean up the game board, and I'll say two things, and I'll say them real fast and pass off to Gary because we're running so long. But
no problem.
One, I do think that's part of our responsibility of playing the game is keeping it clean, because people are going to leave the game for whatever reason, and I think we have to kind of police our area so we can have pride in our area. Like you're not messing with anybody in the game. We want them to come back. I'm hoping that message that says, hey, your thing's been inactive for a long time. I hope that brings them back to the game. Oh, I forgot about that. Now we have another player back, right?
Yeah.
They were before. But I also think this is the call to action for the cachers out there. I think you have a responsibility to do that. Put it in for needs archived or the new, reviewer request, attention requested for ones that are not active anymore. I think that's just part of what we have to do. It may seem harsh, but I think it's what we have to do. But I think the call to action for HQ is I hope they continue this. Not that they're going to let us know ahead of time, right?
Right.
They didn't check with us first, but I hope they continue the purge with the rest of the caches and clean up the game board because it's great that we have 3 million caches out there, but if 10% of them are trash, that's not healthy. That's unhealthy by any standard, right? So I hope they do something to push forward, and we may talk about that again in the future. But I think for now, it kind of falls to us to help those reviewers clean up the area. They don't have the time. If they spend the time doing that, they're not going to be, publishing new caches. So I think we should be going out there doing it. That's that ongoing CETO that I think we have to do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Jesse and I have put out needs archived since that time when I asked you to do it because I was scared to do it. But those days are gone. I do, not very often, but there are times when I will do that. I do agree that it is time for HQ to do the purge. It's time to purge all these zombie caches that are out there because there are a lot of people who have, sadly, we've lost a lot of people in the game, but we have new people in the game. So we should be excited about new geocachers. We have a lot of them now, and we just need to purge out a lot of the caches that have been out there. It's time. It's time for that. So this was interesting. Good conversations, gentlemen, and we have an upcoming show. John, correct?
Yeah. So guys, it's crazy to think it's like end of October. So this Tuesday, we do not have a Tuesday show, but the Tuesday afterwards, the first Tuesday of November, we have train puzzles. So Charles and Tom are turned into trains, and Tom looks a little bit more comfortable as a train. Just have to say that. So Puzzle Talk is going to be on the first Tuesday of November. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be an awesome show.
Awesome. Well, guys, that was great. And thanks everybody for your input. Thanks to the chat room for being there and being so active. And we will see y'all down the road. And don't just talk about geocaching. You need to go geocaching. See you next time. Good night, everybody.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.